Welcome to another episode of the Mortgage Pro podcast, and today I want to talk to you about the importance of having lead management in your business. You know, having a CRM system, something that actually can drive your business forward. Now, we all start our business when we first go self-employed, wanting to save money and wanting to just initially get started. And I built my business first of all on Excel spreadsheets. You know, managing the leads and the customers, and also having using Google Tasks within Google Outlook to manage my notes on the customer, as well as using Outlook Calendar to manage the actual day-to-day of the business. But yesterday, I had the pleasure of going and sitting down with David Sharpstone, one of my mentees, and a man who has taken his business from 10 grand a month in sales to 50 grand a month in sales. And actually we implemented a system into his business that is going to make it easier for him to scale, easier for him to manage his teams, easier for him to actually have better control. And what I've done is written down the 5 reasons as to why you need to be thinking about having a system within your mortgage brokerage, within your service-based business, and actually enabling you to get to a point where it can remove you from the day-to-day. So I've used Excel, I've used Outlook, easily to manage but not easy to scale and to help other people with. I've also had various different other systems online, off-the-shelf ones, where they're kind of for any industry and any person. They're really difficult because yes, they can be great, particularly when you're starting out, but as you want to build and grow and develop your business, you want something that's tailored to you and to your industry, because having that, you know, nobody understands your industry better than you do and the people who actually build the system. So most of the people within the mortgage industry who build these systems used to be brokers. So what you really want to be thinking about is how you can actually take your sales process and improve it by automating it and making it possible for you to manage other people. Now in 2016, I thought it would be a bright idea to try and develop my own, because after researching the mortgage industry and looking at all the different CRMs that are out there, all of them are good. All of them have good features. However, you might be paying 100% of price, but only using 25% of the system on one of them. Or on something else, you might actually end up struggling with the fact that it doesn't do everything that you need it to do. It's really good at one part, but it's not very good at another. And this is where I think understanding what is available to you, searching the marketplace, and actually making sure that you implement the right one into your business based on the direction that you want to take it. Because I've used, you know, building my own, it was so expensive. And in order to take it to the next level and get it to where I needed it to be, it was going to cost me 60, 70,000 pounds. And that's just not viable, particularly as a small business. So I wouldn't urge anybody to try and build their own systems unless they can get investment or they've got deep pockets, because you're going to need that in order to keep growing, because tech is constantly changing all the time. Digital is changing all the time. But if you don't embrace online software systems right now, your business is going to struggle, particularly if you're in the mortgage industry, because going into 2020 and beyond, you know, everything is moving online. The high streets are closing. I only buy stuff online because I can't be bothered to stand around shopping in shops and waiting in queues and everything else. And maybe you're the same. Think about how much time you spend shopping online, and actually, are you visiting shops, or are you actually purchasing everything through digital means? You know, more and more now, Amazon, one click to buy. Everybody wants quick, everybody wants easy, and everybody wants fast. And if you can provide that to your customers, if you can do that through your team, then that's going to enable your team to have better relationships with your customers, and therefore you're going to win more business as a result of it. So what did I think about when I was doing this for David yesterday? I've done this for 2 other mortgage advisors in the industry now as well, because when I set this system up within my business back in September 2018, after deciding that I just had to go for one of the industry ones off the shelf, I spent a day with them being shown how realistically the system worked and sort of focusing on these 5 areas, but not actually having any consistent training around how to really build it out and how to implement it. It's like somebody sitting down with you and saying, I know, this is how you build a house. Here's how you lay the foundations. Here's how you build a wall. Here's how you create cement. Here's how you put the roof on top. And then you need to go through and divide up all the rooms and all of that. It's like somebody doing that with you, but then leaving you to your own devices to actually go and build the house, having had no previous experience building a house. So the 5 areas that are absolutely key, what I actually do is I go into mortgage brokers' businesses now, because after I had that day of implementation and that day of training, I then spent probably 4 or 5 days going through, and this is literally like all day on a Sunday, systemizing it, structuring it, putting these 5 things into the business that I'm going to go through with you now, learning through trial and error. And what I can actually do is save hours, because my brain thinks a little bit like a computer. My brain can understand the process and can map it out and take it on a journey. And that's what I think has been one of my good qualities being a mortgage advisor, is the fact that I look at the postcode at the end of the journey that we want to get to, and I can reverse engineer that, which is how I've structured the business, which is how I built the business over the last 12 months, and how I've got to where I need to be in relation to the CRM system that we currently have. So in terms of CRM, customer relationship management, 2 things it's there to do is to improve your relationships with your customers and make life easier for your teams. And it's to control the management of your leads. So when it comes in at the first point and it leaves the business at the end point. So number 1 is going to be all about lead reporting. You know, you need to understand, 1, where your leads are coming from, because then it enables you to say, okay, I'm getting leads from 7 sources, but actually if I invest more money into this one, that's going to give me better return. You know, this one's really good, it gives me high numbers, but actually I get better quality over here. So when you understand the lead reporting side of things, you can start to make better decisions in order to be able to grow your business going forward. Also with lead reporting, you know, you can then start to understand where your business is at. Not only where it's come from, but who's had what number of leads. It's fine when it's just you. But when you start to grow and you start to take on team, you're going to want to make sure that this person A, is converting as much as person B. And if they're not, where in your sales process are they losing that business? Because that can identify a training need. That can make sure that, you know, there's consistent processes put in place to improve the lead management and the lead reporting. You know, you can actually look and you can cross-reference upsells. So you could say, right, we get 5 leads in, but we actually get 3 referrals, or we get 5 leads in and we actually make 3 additional purchases to that. Because you have your core product, but you also have your bolt-on products to that as well. So it can enable you to start understanding the true value of a lead. Because you might get 100 leads into your business, but you might only sell to 25 of them. And in selling to 25 of them, it might not be 1 sale. You might make 3 or 4 sales off of the back of that. So it's also important, it can show you not only your cost per lead, but it can show you your cost per sale. Because cost per lead is how much you pay for 1 lead. But actually the cost per sale might be a case of actually we make £1,000 or £2,000 from this client, but because we've got a 1 in 4 conversion on our leads, it cost us £500 to get them. So therefore we're only making £500 worth of profit. I say only 500, that's 50%, that's massive. But having that lead reporting enables you to make predictions, enables you to build that roadmap, and enables you to scale and grow and go to the next level. Number 2 is a really important one. Well, they're all really important, but number 2, a sales process that is consistent. So within my mortgage brokerage, we've got a sales process that breaks down to about 29 steps. And as we go through the lead reporting, each time we call it a stage. So you change the stage and then you can see where each lead is in each of the stages, which enables you again to know where the predictions are. Going back to your lead reporting, it enables you to know where you're actually losing business, because it enables you to make those fine tweaks and have those understandings. So in having a consistent sales process, what it also enables you to do is to scale, because you know that everybody who comes into the business is dictated by the same sales process, and that's what wins. You look at Amazon, the sales process is the same. You look at McDonald's, the sales process is the same. You look at any business that is efficient, that is going to be exactly the same. Do you think if you go to Lakeside or Bluewater, which is 2 massive shopping centres in the southeast, You walk into a Tesla, you walk into a Rolex shop, you walk into something like that where it's a high profile brand, they have a sales process. And you don't know it because it's built in and they've been trained on it. But the sales process will dictate what those people do. Every McDonald's works in exactly the same way. And that's because they know where they're spending on their marketing. They're able to assess how many people they're getting into the shops, and all of the staff go through the same sales process. And in having a sales process, for example, if you broke it down to 4 areas within pre-sales, 4 areas within sales, and 4 areas within administration afterwards, you can actually start splitting the jobs as the business grows. And you can start having specific people doing specific jobs within those specific departments and those specific areas. So the sales process is absolutely key to your scaling and to your growth and to your management of your people, your management of your teams, and your predictions going forward in terms of where your business is going to be winning or losing. Linking to that is number 3, which within our system we call simple tasks. Now these are the things that you want done at each stage of your sales process. Because let's be honest, there's so much to remember in any business, in any job, and in any service-based industry, that being able to be held accountable to each of, right, we are at stage 1 of the sales process, and that is our initial call with the client. And at that, I need to do A, B, and C. And it's a tick sheet or a checklist or something along those lines that enables you to ascertain that everything has been done. So there might be 29 stages or 30 stages in the sales process, but there actually might be 70 or 80 simple tasks. So therefore it's a way that you can make sure that key things that need to be done at each one of your sales process is ticked off at the relevant point in the business when they need to be done. That breeds consistency. That makes it easier for your team to do the job. That makes it possible to give the best level of service to your customers, to consumers, to your leads, to your prospects. And that enables you to make sure that I keep saying consistency, but it enables you to make sure that your customers get the best result and the best outcome. Because when you identify an issue within your sales process, you can then create a new simple task. And that's how I'm constantly looking for those marginal gains, as I've spoken about on this podcast. Constantly looking to make those minimum little things that 1% improvement can have a massive impact to the bottom line of the business. Or saving somewhere in time, or implementing an email. Because that's the other thing, is within having a sales process, within our system, we can link emails, we can link text messages. They're structured, they're systemized, they're automated. When you change to the next stage in the sales process, the system knows what needs to happen next. So we've got email templates. Everybody sends the same email template when we send out a mortgage illustration. Everybody sends out the same email saying, congratulations, your offer has been produced. And that's exactly the same text message that goes out as well. As well as there's some additional free, I was going to say free range, but that's not right, free reign ones in there. But it makes it easier for the people who are sitting in the chairs that you employ them to do the job quickly, efficiently, and to provide the best level of customer service to your team. And equally, it makes it easier for you as the owner or the manager to manage the team going forward and to build and scale and grow. Number 4 is about the diary management, the diary tracking, and the automation. As I said right at the very beginning, I used to use Outlook and Excel spreadsheets as a means to know when the last time I spoke to a client was and when the next time I need to speak to a client is. But that's a nightmare. Things can get lost, things can get deleted. What we have is we have underneath each and every single product that we have. So let's say, for example, Gary Das, I'm the client. I've then got a mortgage, I've then got a life insurance, I've then got a critical illness, an income protection, a home insurance. How the hell do you manage all of that within an Excel spreadsheet? Within a system that's systemized and automated for you, you can have a diary entry. So you have a calendar, or I prefer to use a list view, and I know that everything in that list needs to be completed that day in order for me to be able to move on. I can prioritize them from low, medium, and high, which gives them different colors and categories. I can add reminders, so therefore they pop up and show if it's an appointment or it's fixed. So in terms of diary management, the diary controls me and my team, which makes it easier for them to do what they need to do in a day. They come in, they work through their diary, they've done everything and given the best level of customer service, they can leave. But equally within the diary management, I can see based on the start date and the end time what isn't being managed. Because there's a saying, what gets measured gets managed. So therefore, if you're able to measure the success of certain things, you can then start to manage that and implement it and improve it. So diary management is important both for you and your team. You can look and see who's flagging behind. You can look and see how many diary entries somebody's got in a day, where they need assistance. Also within the sales process, when it changes from the pre-sales to the sales to the post-sales, I can set up automations that turn around and say, it's gone from sale to application, and therefore it goes over to the admin team, and you can set it that it automatically, without anybody having to do anything, puts a diary entry into the administration team's diary. Like, that is just going to make it super efficient. That means that nothing is going to get left behind, and that's going to mean that everybody is working at the quickest possible pace. But equally, let's say for example that somebody does by accident complete a diary entry by mistake, or moves it too far in the future. Then we've got automations that actually run behind the scenes, making sure that everything is kept up to date with. So if a diary entry was deleted, I have set an automation that runs. It's an automation rule. If the next stage date hasn't been changed for more than 30 days, the system runs a report in the background every single day and creates a diary entry, which means that nothing in terms of my customer journey is lost for, in some places, 7 to 10 days, in other stages, in other parts of the sales process, 30 days. And I've set those individually up. Imagine having that control within your business, knowing that everything is constantly being moved forward at the pace that you want it to, without any issues at all. And finally, number 5 is commission and sales tracking and reporting. You know, being able to make predictions on your business, as we mentioned about the lead management and the sales process, is absolutely key. So within having a CRM system, you can put in the commission that's potentially due. You can understand what stage that money is at. So you can start to see where you're losing it, but equally you can start to say, well, currently there's £70,000 in the pipeline for my company, there's £20,000 in the pipeline for each of the advisors. When you get good at the reporting side, you can actually start to look at the business and say, well, in order for my advisor to make X every single week, they need to have a current pipeline of Y. And that makes it so good, and that makes it so easy to build your business out and to get to that next level. It also makes it possible to know that what amount of money is sitting in each of the pre-sales, sales and post-sales. So you can then start to make predictions and forecast for the money that you're going to be due in the future. So then you can actually start to know when to invest more in marketing, you know, when you can actually start to budget better, when you can think about taking on your next employee, because you can make predictions about the money that's coming in. The system technically does this for you. And if you're not particularly a numbers person, then this is where you would need to work with somebody like an accountant or something like that to solve those problems and have that. But within the reporting side, which technically could be a number 6 in fact, you know, within the reporting side of everything, to be fair, you can make reports on absolutely anything if you get a good enough CRM system on any field. So it doesn't matter whether it's the sales process, it doesn't matter whether it's a date of birth, it doesn't matter whether it's a job title, an income, a mortgage lender, whatever it is within your business, you could run a report and you could get their email addresses, their date of birth. You could send something out if you've got a particular product that you want to offer to over 55s, or to everybody between 25 and 35, or everything to everybody who's self-employed. Imagine being able to run a report in your business and pull out all of those people. You can build better relationships. You can target your marketing. You can make your life and your team's life and your business's life easier, because it's much better and much cheaper to look after your existing customers than constantly keep hunting for new ones. So they're my 5 reasons as to why you need to think about having an online CRM system. What I haven't spoken about is the fact that once you've got an online CRM system, a lot of this can be plugged in online now. Like, we have a customer portal that clients can log into. They can access their documentation. They can see the information that we've filled in on their behalf. They can equally fill in that information back, and that will update our system. So it enables you to build better relationships. Having a portal that they can log into gives you that ring fence around them that they don't necessarily want to go elsewhere. You know, lots of insurance companies now, as an example, don't send you your documentation via paper or via email. They send you email access into their online portal where they can then market you additional products. So they actually look to, in the mortgage industry, they're actually constantly trying to steal you and us and our clients. It's a nightmare. So just to recap on the 5 reasons for you as to why you need to invest in a CRM system, something digital that you can put your customers into, that your customers can engage with, that will automate your processes. Number 1 is all about your lead reporting and understanding where your business is coming from to improve your marketing going forward. Number 2 is about your sales process, enabling you to manage other people, but also to have consistency within your business with the service standards that you are providing, because service is fundamental. Number 3 is all about having simple tasks. You know, what you want to be completed at each and every single step of the sales process so that nothing gets lost, nothing gets left behind, and your team can massively benefit from, you know, making their life easier, which enables them to give a better service to your clients. Number 4 is about the diary tracking, the management, the automations that you can set in place so nothing gets lost and nothing gets left behind. And actually, everybody is being contacted when they need to be contacted. And also, I haven't mentioned the fact that I could be sitting here now and a phone call could come in for me. One of my team can dive into that system. They can see the products that they've got. They can see the last note that was left. They can leave a note for me, and they can also create a diary entry for me to call that individual back. So everybody is given the best level of service. 2 of my team are actually, one is based in Wales and one is based in Worcester. But it's like we're all in one office because of the CRM system that is currently in place, and we all work together utilising WhatsApp and other aspects of being able to have communication amongst us. Number 5 is about your commission, your sales tracking and your reporting to enable you to have that opportunity for businesses to grow and to give you that reporting that you need to be able to scale, to make predictions for the future. So if you are a mortgage broker and you're listening or watching to this today, this is actually a podcast and a video episode. I'm doing the 2 together to try and leverage time to practice what I preach around repurposing of content. So if you're a mortgage broker and you're listening to this in the UK, then we have Mortgage Keeper is the one that I've been working with over the last 12 months. I've got a really good relationship with them. I'm helping them to build it and improve it and put things in that mortgage brokers need because, as I said, I've tried to develop my own. I've also agreed a fantastic discount for the members of Mortgage Pro to be able to get, if you contact me directly, I can connect you with Scott, my contact, and then he will be able to offer you the discount. That discount actually comes out of his commission. So if you speak to anybody else there, you won't get the discount that I've had because that's a deal that I've created with him. And then if you've already got your e-keeper, you know, I've done this for David. I've done this for 3 of my mentees already, David, Barry and Tony. I'm going up to Scotland next week to do it with another one of my mentees, Kessa. You want me to come into your business and you want me to implement it because, as I mentioned at the beginning, eKeeper came in to do the training for me for a day, but I then had to spend 6 or 7 full days implementing it, tweaking it, refining it. I've made mistakes that I now can't rectify, but I can now utilize to implement it. And one of the things that David said to me yesterday is he loves the fact that I was implementing it into his business as if it was my own system. And I've got that OCD and perfectionism, unfortunately, that it has to be right and it has to be perfect because I want it to be how good it would be for me. So if you want to get in contact about having your eKeeper set up for growth, then just hit me up. Instagram is my preferred. Facebook is obviously another one. I'm at Gary Das. And if you haven't had an opportunity to leave a review for the Mortgage Pro podcast, then dive over to your favorite preferred podcast channel. It enables me to get better guests. We're reaching people in America and Australia now. It enables me to understand what you do and don't like. If you've got specific content that you want me to produce for you, hit me up with a question. I'll be more than happy to do that. But as always, now is the time to become pro.